So we're going to do a walk today from kind of middle of the strip in Puerto del Carmen, depending on the temperature, because it's a bit cloudy. We're going to see if we can get all the way around to the airport. It was the Ironman competition yesterday, so there's a lot of clearing up going on from that. And then it was a heaving night, and then it was topped off with a fight. Tyson Fury and your man. Unbelievable fight. It seemed to fly by. There was 12 rounds. Anyway, reporting around the corner. We're just heading out into the strip now. The road that I'm staying on is right by Cafeola. Went to both of these restaurants yesterday. Trufrella for lunch, tuna salad. Then the evening went to this one, that one, Volcano, and had lasagna. So just passing Lani's Sweets, which has been voted the best boutique hotel in all of Spain. So it's right on the beach. Beautiful place. It's got a restaurant at the back, really well kept restaurant. Show you the staircase down to Lani Sweets. That goes all the way down to the beach. Fabulous. That kind of pebble mosaic all the way down. Beautiful place. It's opposite this, well, relatively new centre. I think it's completed about 3 years ago. Where Serenity restaurant is, leading up to the California bar. Just passing this place, I always think it's fascinating, this place. This was one of the original shopping centres in Puerto del Carmen, and there were people in it up till recently. There was a restaurant at the back. It was quite nice, but as you can see now, it's dead. But I've been told that it's been converted to residential. If it is, it will be absolutely prime location because of its spot. As I say, similar outlook to Lani Sweets. Oh, there is a barber shop that's open. That's probably the only shop that's open in the whole place. It's just a gap between buildings, which again will be absolute prime location. I can only assume that because it's close to residential that nobody's ever picked it up as a bar, but again, look at that view straight across to Fuerteventura and right in the middle of all the footfall. There you go. Tiny bar, well-known spot. Let's have a quick walk down. Scott's been in Tenerife, so I was coming down here to do a bit. So it's got a back window that faces out onto this view. There you go, look. Have a quick walk down. Imagine living here, this view. We've got sun on the mountains over at Puerto Calero. So no actual beach here. Loads of parrots up in the trees today. Go back up on the main road. Coming up to Wayne's Steakhouse. That's a recent addition. I think that opened in 2024, maybe March 2024. Again, gets great reviews from all the meat eaters. I'm one. I'm being pejorative. Get this view. So these bars on the top deck, because of the direction of the sun, you can see and watch the sun go down over in that direction. But obviously they're getting the sun all day long. So it's about 10 o'clock in the morning now. And that's the famous spoons. There's loads of videos on YouTube about people seeking out the €2 pint, and they do €2 pints of Tropical. But there's loads of places in Puerto del Carmen that do €2 pints, irrespective of the day, time of day. And that's the big spa. That's the famous big spa. Again, it's just been refurbed and got the ice cream place on the side. So this is the traditional end of the strip. I've stayed up that road there many a time at a place called Relaxina Olivina. Been with all three of my boys at various times. So these fabulous individual properties at the front here. I think probably some of these are holiday. They tend to have the symbol, don't they? The VV symbol or whatever it might be, if they're holiday lets, because I think they've got to be regulated. So this Hotel San Antonio, this is one of the landmarks. Whenever you're flying in and you can hear the planes coming in now, this is one of the big landmarks that you can see from the plane, because it's a bit brutalist, is the architecture. Probably wouldn't get away with being built like that now. But very popular. Don't know, I've not spoken to many Brits that have stayed there, so. But again, good location. So it's like the cut-off point between the strip and there's the road that you'll see in a moment, turns round to the massive beach. So the very first time that I visited Puerto del Carmen, which is, it feels like forever, but it was only in 2022. I was cycling with my middle son. We were staying at the Galleon Player in Costa Teguise, and we did the cycle path from Costa Teguise down to Puerto del Carmen, which is highly recommended, by the way, highly recommended. And we kind of hit this bit here, having cycled past a few bars and restaurants and hotels, assuming that kind of this was it. And then when we got around the corner and saw the new strip past the spa, we realised it's immense. There's a really nice breeze blowing, even though it's sunny. So we might try and get all the way around to the airport. So a little tip that I picked up here, because I used to catch the bus on the front, which is a one-way system. So outside Pinocchio's and outside Cafeola Casino. Then realised that the bus does a massive loop up into the old town because of the one-way system and ends up back here. So my tip is, if you want to catch a bus towards Arrecife, just head this way a little bit and you'll save yourself probably 20 minutes and a good couple of miles of needless travel. So Los Pocillos, planes coming in, completely different vibe down here. Again, from the main strip, a lot wider. This beach, I don't know, you never see many people on it, I don't know. It just feels a bit man-made, a bit, possibly is man-made. But again, completely different vibe to the main strip. So whenever past this spot, always seems to be an exercise class on, early doors. But other than that, there's very little that goes on in this area. Look at 360. Lovely spot. Always sparkling clean, but not much going on. That's the bus that's done the loop all the way through the old town. Incidentally, all of these buses are equipped for wheelchairs. So they've all got a flip out platform. So you're visiting the island and you're wheelchair bound, you can get around on the bus because they've all got a designated area and you'll get assistance on and off, which is great, isn't it? Again, this bit here, a little bit dead, not a lot going on. I'm sure they had high hopes at one point. Maybe more designed to serve local residents and tourists. That's the Lewis. Beach and takeaway kind of place. Another big spa. That's the direction we just walked from. The San Antonio Hotel over there. That's the street behind that. And now we're turning the corner to head into Matagorda. which is a completely different municipal area, apparently. So, slightly interesting side note here. In Puerto del Carmen, there's loads of shops like this, and they sell, what's the word? Tribute items. Whereas here, Matagorda, they sell full knockoff. So you'll find Rolexes, Nike, Adidas. So there must be some kind of rule that doesn't allow that to happen in Puerto del Carmen. But it seems to be okay in Matagorda. I don't want to kind of go in the shop. They get a bit funny if you film them. So La Barrica. Oh, that's quite nice, isn't it? Very pretty. Great spot, as you can see. Slow it down a little bit. Apparently there's a statistic saying that there's a 737 somewhere in the world taking off and landing every 5 seconds, and I could well imagine that. Cruz Campo, from memory, which is, you know, men tend to completely memorise what beer is served at what location. So with me, anywhere that serves Amstel, I'm not there. Stick me where the Tropical is. Or Cruz Campo. We're just getting our bearings again for anybody who's following the route. There's a hotel that's just been refurbed just around here. In fact, I think it's just coming up now, called Lava Beach, which is a 5-star hotel, which gets unbelievable reviews. And then just past that, there's quite a famous bar. I think it's called the Aussies Bar. We'll find out when we get around the corner. And I'm pretty certain this guy lives on site. I think he closes at 9 o'clock at night, so it shows you kind of the amount of business that he's doing during the day. Anyway, we'll have a look in a second. So here we go, yeah, newly refurbed Lava Beach. Grass protection to keep us out. Oh dear. Thank you very much. I've just had my breakfast. Don't look at that. 5-star Lava Beach, recently refurbed. And then right next door, we've got Aussie's Beach Bar. And definitely, oh, it closes at 6. Not to worry. One day we'll get him. So I know I'm possibly stating the obvious here, is as you would imagine, it's got this kind of climate possibly 11 months out of the 12 months of the year. Yes, there are a few days when it clouds over because it's in the middle of the Atlantic, but not very often. But you can literally come here in December and it can be like this. Obviously, same daylight hours as you would imagine in the UK, but these kind of temperatures. Loads of these kind of hotels at this end. What would you call a traditional Spanish tourist holiday? Not being disparaging, everybody wants to stay there. Not my cup of tea, but obviously the cup of tea of quite a lot of people. God love them. Like a lot of hotels in this location, there's got a locking door into the accommodation, but then that comes out onto the beach, like this, which is not as characterful as the ones in Puerto del Carmen, but if you were with your children, small children, would imagine this is ideal. Sirocco, which I think means wind, doesn't it? Or warm wind in Spanish. Could be completely wrong. It's a very nice aspect. Oh, plastic chairs. No, thank you. Won't be bothering with that then. No respect to Sirocco's plastic chairs. Ah, bar 67. So this has got a twin location in Puerto del Carmen. Very pretty, but just a little bit careworn, isn't it? Again, kids, keeping them happy as we've all done on holiday, haven't we? Loads of places to go. I'm told that there's a Beatles tribute bar in here somewhere. So that'd be unusual again, wouldn't it? On holiday. Yeah, and there we go. Sergeant Pepper's bar. Seems to be one everywhere. Can you imagine if they chased them all for royalties on these bars around the world?
Said what I said and it was wrong or was taken
This is a
wrong, and
very
now it's
popular
all
spot. I
this.
think it opens for breakfast at 9 a.m. Just breakfast right through till 12:30, I think. Always busy, that one. Good old Jet 2. See how close that is to the... we'll see when we get around there. Pretty close to that hotel. Slightly bizarre is one of the best beaches in Lanzarote is right outside of the airport. And again, even more slightly bizarre is it's a nudist beach, which I just think is just very slightly incongruous. And I nearly booked this one years ago because it comes up pretty cheap on booking.com and hotels.com. And then, of course, I did the old Google Earth. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this, by the way. And I think one of the reasons why, as a hotel, it's just that little bit cheaper for the amenities is it's less than a mile from the end of the runway. Here's one of the inter-island turboprops coming in now. I've probably flown from Fuerteventura. She's come that direction. Again, not being disrespectful in any way. A lot of people like this kind of holiday. More traditional sunbed and sex on the beach. That's the drink, by the way, but not really. I think in this day and age when it's so easy to get around, a resort or an island location wouldn't be one for me. But again, no disrespect to people who want that kind of holiday. Again, in the same way as the one at Los Pocillos over there doesn't seem to get a lot of use either. I've never seen this open ever. It's obviously all the same because the toilets are identical and the layout and tiling, etc. But it just doesn't seem to. The one going off there, I can hear it. Wow. Doesn't seem to get the use. Beach is a bit more interesting here, though, isn't it? And that's the lights, the landing lights in the water. We'll see as we get round. You can see that up there, Arrecife, probably may count. You can see the Grand Hotel, which is by far the tallest building in Arrecife. It's still scratching my head about how it ever got built, but people tell me it's absolutely fantastic. So, leaving Matagorda now and heading this short walk to the airport. It gets a few spectacular shots in there, I think. This cycle path, as I say, runs all the way from the far end of Cottage Keys right to the far end of Puerto del Carmen. Here we go, one coming in now. See if we can get it all on. Hopefully. This one is aftershave about 100 feet away. So again, a bit of information I picked up from Lanzarote News. Again, I'll link it in the description. And I wasn't aware of this, that in the 80s, Cunard and British Airways used to run a joint holiday kind of thing where you flew from the UK on Concorde, you landed here, and then you took the QE2 from the cruise port at Arrecife and did a Canarian cruise. That must have been beyond spectacular. Concorde down. I mean, Concorde down from the UK, so it would have been Heathrow, wouldn't it? Down to Arrecife. So normally it takes 700 miles an hour, it takes 4 hours. So it's going to be doing it in 2, isn't it? Would have thought, or less. But can you imagine these houses here? Because they would have been around in those days. Concorde landing and taking off. Years and years ago, I worked in Hounslow when Concorde was still flying. And God, it was loud. You could really tell when it was coming. So I've got a Ryanair flight going off here. I could be wrong here, but I think there's only one main runway, so it tends to be one goes off or two go off, and then one comes in, same direction. So they come in from the south and then take off to the north. Yeah, I think we've got a 737 coming in there. Oh my God. Almost. Ooh, he's left it a bit late to come down. He's got your standard Ryanair landing there. Plenty of smoke. We're going to head back now because we've got lunch booked, and I'm going to. So this is my bonus features. This is my clickbait for today. We're going to do a comparison side by side of this DJI versus iPhone Pro Max 14. Same frame rate, so 24 frames per second, and both at 4K. It's going to be front-facing camera on the iPhone. As I said before, unless you can see yourself, there's no good comparing it. So we'll just have another look. It's got built-in stabilisation as the iPhone, as has DJI Action 4, but to obviously a greater degree because it's an action camera. But let's just see how it. I'm really interested to see how it pans out. I've got a bit of a bean up on it at the moment, comparing iPhone footage to DJI footage. And what I mean by that is I'm not saying one's better than the other, but cinematic. I know some people hate cinematic because it's fake bokeh and it's processed or whatever, but it just seems to me that cinematic seems to pull more light in. I don't know why that would be. So we're just going to do it on. We're going to do a bit on standard video and a bit on cinematic and just compare it like for like. Just going to hang on for another plane and then get on. So, Nick Brown, news at 10, Arrecife. It's just occurred to me that I'm on this flight tomorrow, so here we are. 11:30, Jet 2, East Bradford. What's this? You don't mess about Jet 2 guys. Foot on. Double D clutching. If that's not a modern miracle, I don't know what is. Amazing. So let's compare footage. This is the iPhone, this is the Action 4. Let's just see how they look. There's a plane going to take off behind me, so we'll see. So the audio is only coming from the DJI microphone because I'm just not that clever enough to chop and change between microphones, because I know you can connect the DJI mic to an iPhone via Beast Cam. So again, Action 4, iPhone Pro Max 14. Ooh, listen to that. Goes. Might see him in the background. So let me know in the comments what you think. Obviously this is a designated action cam where the field of view is a lot wider. This is the front facing camera, which is not as high a spec as the back facing camera on an iPhone. But as we've said before, if you're comparing action cams with front facing screens so you can see what you're doing, it's a bit redundant to do it any other way. Sun's out now, so you should get a better idea. Let's have a spin round again. Kind of help us decide on how washed out it is on sunlight and how good the colours look, won't it? I'm going to switch off now because I've got a vague suspicion that I'm irritating people. As if. So as we said, we flipped the camera, still on standard video mode on the iPhone. Audio coming through the mic 2 via the DJI Action 4. But as we said, we'd have a bit of an experiment on the cinematic mode. As we said, but not everybody's cup of tea because of the processing that goes on. But it seems to bring more light in, don't know, my imagination. So we'll get around the corner, we've got a bit more, better scenery, and we'll That's how it looks. Obviously the stabilisation is a good comparison point, isn't it? So we're running cinematic now. Let's turn the iPhone on. So the field of view on cinematic is, don't get wide angled here. Let's zoom into some closer subject matter. Very different, obviously, field of view, etc. I'm just more interested in how much light. Interesting. Slightly different view again. Let's compare. iPhone, Action 4. There we go again. Try and lock them together. So 25 frames per second. Widest setting that the iPhone will go on compared to standard D-Warp on the Action 4. I'll just pan it around as well. I'll take it slowly because I'm always aware that I'm kind of rushing through it all. It's pretty obvious that the Action 4 is zoomed out, the field of view is much wider. Let's go all the way around. Please comment, like and subscribe. It helps us a lot and it's completely free.